Donald Trump just made what can only be considered an interesting move in his PR campaign to be viewed as the peacemaker president, and it's declaring war in the very region that he thinks he just brought peace to. But Donald Trump didn't, because his ceasefire agreement that has not been signed yet is not the lasting peace that he claims, because Donald Trump doesn't actually understand what's happening in the Middle East, and he made that very clear today with an insane threat during a meeting with the president of Argentina, which was chaos in its own right. We are going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into the insane threat that Trump just made and the implications for it, I want to start where Trump did in this meeting with Milei, and that was talking about his teleprompter at the UN.
I met him at the United Nations before I went up to speak, and then I found that I didn't have a speech because I had no teleprompter. They turned off my teleprompter purposely. They made it impossible for me. But it didn't silence me. I spoke without, and it was a good speech. I mean, it was a good speech. But no, think of that. You go into the United Nations, I'm speaking in front of 158 leaders and the whole world. And I look at my teleprompter and it's dead.
Donald Trump is pretending that he has made peace at the same time as he's pretending that he understands why we are sending $20 billion to Argentina to bail them out while our farmers suffer, while everyone in America suffers because of Donald Trump's economic policies. He's pretending that he knows what he's talking about there, but really all Donald ever wants to be discussing is him, and how he's the most aggrieved little man in the world. He's insecure about his fat little turkey neck. He's insecure about his speech at the UN. He's insecure about the fact that no one has praised him enough for the peace deal that he didn't actually strike. And so, as Donald Trump has made clear, he is endorsing Milei today. This is not just $20 billion, it's also an endorsement of the Argentinian president, and it's because he is sucking up to Trump. And funny enough, before Trump decided he was going to be declaring war, the delegation from Argentina decided to give Donald Trump a gift in the form of a nominating letter that Trump received right here.
When he did this letter, Mr. President, your settlement in the Middle East wasn't done. So we have to do a new letter because this is a very important...
You'll have to add one extra sentence.
Exactly.
That's great. Thank you very much. This is a great, such a beautiful statement.
So this Argentinian delegation, which is already getting 20 bill from Trump, by the way, is probably trying to get like an extra 6 bill on top of that as a little tip. They bring Donald Trump a letter nominating him again for the Nobel Peace Prize. And of course, you didn't hear in there, but they said, well, we had it prepared a little bit ago, and so your peace deal in the Middle East isn't included, right, in our summary of all the amazing things that you've done. But Donald Trump hasn't made peace in the Middle East, and Donald Trump doesn't even understand the nature of the agreement. All Donald Trump understands is attack, 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 which is why he is going after Kamala Harris right now before we get into what he said about threats.
Mr. President, would you support dollarization?
I would say that I'll leave that up to my my economic people, but I like the dollar. I'm very strong on the dollar. And anybody who wants to deal in dollars, they have an advantage over people that aren't. But for the most part, we're keeping it that way. I think if Biden would have, Biden, that group would have gotten elected, meaning Kamala, you wouldn't have the dollar as your currency anymore. You wouldn't have a world domination by the dollar if I didn't win this election. And now the domination, like BRICS.
So it's funny, but it's not funny, because the dollar is actually crashing right now because of Donald Trump. Of course, he doesn't actually seem to care about that. And Donald Trump is just out of it. He wants to lash out. He wants to attack. His insecurities are always on display. And the biggest one is around the Nobel Peace Prize he didn't win and he's not going to get. It's why he's on this PR tour right now with mainstream media outlets for some reason praising this deal as if it has secured peace for all eternity, but it hasn't even secured peace right now because we're seeing new reporting about what Israel is doing in the wake of this supposed agreement. Already today, Israel has conducted a drone strike in Gaza, shot and wounded 2 others, killed 5 Palestinians in Gaza City, fired on and wounded several others, all in violations of their ceasefire. So the ceasefire isn't even holding, which is the entire point of a ceasefire, all the while Donald Trump is saying he deserves a peace prize, and he's now responding to Hamas saying this.
But we have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
Yes, you say
because
quickly.
everyone says, oh, well, they won't disarm. They will disarm. And I spoke to Hamas, and I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm, or we will disarm them. Got it?
First of all, maybe Trump should have a conversation about Bibi Netanyahu, about what his regime is doing right now. But saying that you're just going to blow everyone up after having claimed that you created lasting peace, saying that we will disarm you violently after pretending as if you understand diplomacy, is just such classic Trump. Do you deserve the peace prize or not? Are you going to have to blow people up and violently disarm them or not? Trump doesn't understand the nature and the context of this conflict in any way. He is just claiming to for the media attention that the media is giving him. I said this the other day. I just can't believe everyone is so quick to jump and praise Mr. Trump, dear leader, of having been such a great negotiator, such a great deal maker. He's now threatening to blow people up. What are you talking about? He says we'll have to violently disarm them. That's not peace. That's not diplomacy. Donald Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. And if you want to say this is a peace through strength thing, he's pretending that he's a madman. That's why he's saying this. He would never actually do that. Why is he not also putting that same pressure on Netanyahu, who is still actively killing Palestinians? Donald Trump doesn't know what's going on. Donald Trump doesn't care what's going on. Donald Trump just wants to say he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, which is what Milei was really there to do, to serve as another prop, another world leader, trying to get something out of Donald Trump, trying to have tariffs brought down. And it's so funny, and it's not. It's just sad that instead of these conversations around trade being about how we can have a mutually beneficial economic partnership with other countries around the world, it is Donald Trump extorting praise out of world leaders on his behalf so that trade can happen freely. That's it. Donald Trump talks about tariffs as this tool to stop conflict, but the only thing he wants to stop is nonstop praise of him. He just wants everyone to be talking about how wonderful he is all the time, and that is it. Because he knows what the actual feeling on the ground is right now, that he is more unpopular than he has ever been, no matter who he threatens or what he says. And that includes the threats he's made against blue cities who are fighting back and will be protesting Donald Trump on October 18th, on a day I know you're excited about, and so is Rachel Maddow, who shared more information about No King's Day Part 2 right here.
It was an almost unimaginable number. More than 5 million Americans turned out in small towns and big cities all across the country for those No Kings protests against the Trump administration back in June. That No King's Day protest, that one day in June, is considered to be one of the 3 largest days of peaceful protest ever in U.S. history. There were so many demonstrations on No King's Day in June that when we covered them here on this show the following day, we had to show them in batches of 20 to even scratch the surface of how many of them there were. Well, now the second No King's Day is just around the corner. It's this Saturday, October 18th. And the organizing effort around it so far indicates that it might be even bigger this time around. In June, for those huge protests, they got like 2,100 different protests. This time for Saturday, organizers are expecting more than 2,500, even more than we saw in June. Joining us now is Ezra Levin. He's co-founder and co-executive director of Indivisible, the group that has helped lead the organizing for the No Kings rallies. Mr. Levin, it's nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
Great to see you, Rachel.
What are you expecting for Saturday?
I'm expecting it to be huge. I'm expecting it to be boisterous. I'm expecting it to be joyful. It's going to be the place to be, Rachel. I mean, it really is. I hope people are, we're doing big things here, right? We're collectively fighting for democracy. That's big, that's serious. Trump is saber rattling, and that can be scary. But fundamentally, what this is about is everybody coming together and demonstrating we don't do kings in America. And they're going to have funny signs. There's going to be chanting. There's going to be dancing. There's going to be singing. We want this to be a place where anybody can come out. And it doesn't matter your ideological persuasion. It doesn't matter who you voted for before. It doesn't matter if you've never protested before. This is a place for you if you believe we don't do kings in this country.
We're in this moment where Republican leaders, particularly House Speaker Mike Johnson, but also other Republicans, have tried to really fearmonger about the No Kings protest. He said it was a planned Hate America rally, which made me laugh out loud. But I have to ask, obviously they're trying to scare people into not protesting or trying to make it seem like a scary thing. On the other side, we've got protests in Portland erupting into dance parties and everybody with Cher on the boombox and dancing inflatable frogs and everything. How do you, what do you make of the Republican effort to really demonize protest against Trump?
Look, on the one hand, I welcome the free publicity. I'm glad they're talking about what will be the largest peaceful protest in modern American history coming up on Saturday. And it's also funny that they can't actually say no kings. They've got to make some other name up for it because they understand it. They say no kings. How is that objectionable?
Right.
How could anybody say that that's anything other than the most American thing since apple pie? But I do think we have to hold two things in our head at the same time. One, anybody who's been to a protest this year that's been organized by Indivisible or No Kings has seen moms and grandmas and kids and dogs and funny chants, and it was a feeling of joyous power out in the streets. And on the other hand, we've got an authoritarian regime who wants to crack down on free speech. So
This is an opportunity to go out and have a little time in community. I know if y'all have been watching all of my videos lately, I've been getting a little out of control. My Carolyn Levitt video this morning, I was pretty furious. The videos sometimes have been running 15 minutes. I don't know what to tell y'all. If I'm going to talk for 10 straight minutes about how much I hate these people and how angry they're making me, it's hard to make the videos short because I'm just going to go on rants and be angry. And I appreciate this being like a place for therapy sometimes. But go out and have community. Go meet someone. Go introduce yourself. Go give someone a hug and be like, we're fucking fighting these fascists together, okay? And if you see me, come up to me and give me a hug. Maybe ask first. Actually, no, you can't. It's fine. It will be fine. I'm excited to see y'all. I really do want to see y'all out there. Someone asked in a comment if I was joking about being 6'6", and so I'm easily spotted. I am not joking. I am 6'6". If you are in Washington, D.C., you will likely see my big fluffy hair and me being out there and excited. I want to see you excited. Let's have a moment of joy and fighting back. And if you want to support us doing that on this show, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you want to support the show in another way, you can become a subscriber to my Substack, clicking right here. Keep on fighting. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.